So what do you think? Would you go off-road with these bikes?
This is a tough question. I would go off-road with a naked bike. It's the same thing, more or less, because
With a BMW R?
I
With a
think
Panigale?
I think I can do the same job with the Panigale or the S1000 RR, just like these two bikes over here. Because although they have a long-looking travel suspension, they lack that dive that you need, that travel that you need for this kind of roads. But you can do it. You can do it. But we must put aside everything because these are not meant for enduro. Okay, you can go on a path, on a gravel path, but you lack control. The bike, it's pretty heavy and you might drop it very easy. So stay away from this kind of roads.
Okay, so this is the XC version. The XC is the other version which comes with a longer travel suspension, maybe that one, but for this one, what do you think?
This one, it's a more street intended bike and it feels very good on road, very good on twisties, but on gravel, on muddy paths, on bumpy stuff like this, it reacts a bit different. It's a performance suspension, let's put it like this, more than a off-road suspension.
Yeah, you have an off-road riding mode.
Yeah, I've switched it to off-road and I couldn't ride it that hard so I can feel the difference, but I have an off-road riding mode actually. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
What about the BMW?
Yeah,
Because
the BMW, I don't know, it's pretty much the same. It's a street bike and the ergonomics are not helping me very much. I mean, standing on this bike, it's awful. Really, you don't have a proper standing riding position. The Triumph feels a bit better, but not completely better because it has those edges to the fuel tank, and you can feel it between your legs, so you can't squeeze the fuel tank between your legs. Yeah. So the sitting on these bikes, the seated position is good, is okay, but when trying to stand, no, these bikes are meant for.
yeah,
For sitting in the saddle.
you cannot use them in enduro, that's for sure. It's so rough, it feels like a punch in your stomach every time you go over a bump on this kind of roads.
Yeah, so the BMW Scrambler has nothing to do with off-road. And this one,
it's a
maybe
bit better,
bit.
but it cannot put it as an enduro bike, yeah. So
let's
head back to the roads because
yeah, let's have some fun on the street.
until we won't scratch the paint, please. Left over here, man, I have some issues right now. My leg is burning while riding in the city. This exhaust is close to my leg and I just want to cut it off. It hurts actually.
Nothing to complain about the BMW besides two things. One, the turning angle is like a super bike, so you have to be very careful when riding through the traffic. You can't turn it, but the good thing is that the seat is very low, so it's very easy for you to reach the ground and to turn the bike. Also, I don't like the suspension. Besides that, it's okay, it's very nimble, the bike feels very good, the boxer engine is great, and I don't have this issue with the heat. I have to say that it's a very good bike. I love the way the power is spread out to the range. It feels very good and I like it in the city. Besides this heating problem, I think it's a very fair package for the city use. You can use it daily. It's perfect, yeah, besides that issue. There he is. I'm very curious. Yeah, so what do you think, man?
Ha ha ha!
Haha, which one? This one or the other one?
You won't believe it, both of them.
Really?
Yeah, there's this very small difference, but I don't know why. I think the engine brake on the BMW feels a bit harder, and you have to keep the throttle up.
Okay.
But they feel very good. You won't believe it. Very, very accurate. Phenomenal steering. These bikes can handle some twisties, and very fast. There's a small difference. This one feels a bit faster. I think the engine brake on the BMW, it's a bit harsh. You have to give it a gear upper than the turn.
So which one is faster?
This one feels faster.
The Triumph.
The Triumph feels faster. I think I was with around 10 to 15 kilometers higher on every turn than with the BMW, just because of the confidence and of the way the engine slides into the corner. You know, it's like very smooth.
Mm-hmm.
The BMW, it's very, very easy to steer. Actually, I was keeping it from time to time, pulling it up because it was leaning very hard into the turn. But they are both phenomenal bikes. Very, very good abilities on these twisties. I think the confidence level is a bit higher because of the suspension system. It's adjustable and it feels a bit plusher than the one on the BMW. Other than that, you got a lot of leverage. You stay behind the handlebar. You just move your chin.
So now you're
left and
talking
right.
about the Triumph, yeah?
Yeah. I think the Triumph it's a bit faster. I was faster with the Triumph on every turn right here, but the BMW is pretty close behind.
Okay.
There's a small difference, a very small difference.
What a day! We had a lot of kilometers today, a lot of miles, and we reached this amazing place in Transylvania. It's called the Zabola Estate. What do you think?
It's very beautiful. Everything looks so scenic right now. It's actually most fitted for these bikes, I think.
Yeah, they look perfect in this
It's
setting.
like a history blend right now.
Yeah, but let's get back to the bikes because we have to decide who is the winner, and we have to do it fast because
I think the raining will be coming over us.
Yeah, it's getting dark, and we have to decide the winner. It's very important, and we didn't discuss about it yet. The looks. What do you think?
Man, this is the most important aspect, in my opinion, when you buy a bike, because everybody buys this kind of bikes with regards of looks, and they all are pretty much blending the same iconic styles of the Scramblers, the high-mounted exhaust, the two pipes coming along the bike. But the Boxer looks very good with those white cylinders, with those covers, round headlight for both of them, round clocks, although this one it's modern, the wide handlebars. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's very important, but it's a matter of taste, you know,
yeah,
because
exactly.
you taste you choose with your heart every time you buy a bike. So, in my opinion, when you look from a side, the Scrambler, the Triumph Scrambler, it's the most iconic bike that you can name a Scrambler. When you look at the BMW, it's lower, it's meaner, it looks more aggressive, I think. So, it's different. You have to decide by yourself, because this is a very hard part. We both agreed that the BMW it's the one for us, because
yeah, but it's just a matter of taste. So
yeah,
it wouldn't be fair to say this one looks better, because we're not designers.
Yeah,
so we're not
from an unexperienced eye, just
yeah,
bike lovers, the
yeah,
BMW is our favorite.
Yeah, but it's just a matter of taste. And let's start the engine, because it's also very important, the sound. Listen to that exhaust, man.
A lot of bass coming off. So there's a lot of bass coming from this. It's a very low note, and check out when you rev it up a bit.
Wow. And it
and it goes to the right because it's a centrifugal engine. It's an old school boxer, and this is why it does this magic thing where we rev it up.
What about that one?
It sounds just like a chopper, you know? Rev it up a bit.
Sounds pretty good, I must admit.
Sounds pretty good, yeah, actually. And when you rev it up a bit while running, it sounds even better because at around 3000 RPM it starts screaming. The exhaust starts giving a low note. So.
Good, so we have the looks, we have the sound. Both are magnificent bikes, but speaking of the engine, which one do you like the most? When I'm asking you that, I'm thinking about riding the bike, not about the sound.
So this is a bit difficult because I think the Scrambler is a bit on my taste because it feels a bit sportier, maybe because of the package that this bike offers with the riding modes and stuff. You can put it on twisties and ride it so hard. It feels incredible. Also the Boxer, it's very powerful, very torquey, a lot of power throughout the whole revolution range. But it feels old school, that one. It feels oldish. This one, it's a bit youther, the power is there, you rev it up, you use it almost like an inline 4.
The handling?
The handling, it's good for both. The turning angle on the BMW, it's a bit smaller. You will have some issues in the city, but the wide handlebar gives you a large room for leverage, and it's very easy to flick them from a leg to another. I also had some runs on the twisties with both of them, and the Triumph feels a bit better because of the riding position, because of the ergonomy. You're more engaged than on the BMW, so it feels like you'll have to ride it faster.
Okay, and the suspension, what do you think about the suspension? Because it's also different.
Yeah, it's a lot more different right now because the BMW doesn't have any adjustments on the front. This one comes with a set of adjustments, preload and dampening adjustments.
Longer travel, I suppose, also.
Longer travel, both rear and front, and I don't know if you spotted this all-in suspensions on the rear. It looks very beautiful.
It looks premium.
And
it looks
feel premium. It feels premium, actually. That's the main thing, because when you put it on a turn, even though you find some bumps, the bike will be stick to the asphalt, and you will be like a sculptor through that turn. So this is the thing that you want from a bike. It feels more stable, and it gives you a lot more confidence to ride it faster.
And also, very important, more comfort, because it's more comfortable than the BMW. And due to the suspension, this one is stiffer, but it's not just the suspension, also the ergonomics, also the riding position. I feel better for a long journey on the Triumph. For me, it's better than the BMW.
The saddle feels a bit better because it has a bit more sponginess. It's a bit foamy, and your bottom will sit and rest for a couple of hours before aching. On the BMW, on the other hand, about half an hour. I give you a maximum of half an hour of riding. Then you will feel like you have to stop because everything hurts. Even your hands will hurt because of the front suspension, because it's very stiff.
Yes, I also spotted a nice dash over there.
Yeah, this is a very cool dash, a lot of useful information, navigation. You can pair it with your phone. You can do almost everything. It's like a smartphone over here. It looks very good. It gives you a lot of useful information, and it's easier right now to work with the menu. Maybe because we got used to the Triumph. It has all the buttons, home, riding mode, and the joystick over here. Most important, it has riding modes, 4 or 6 riding modes.
Yeah,
for this
to have rain, road, sport, off-road, and user.
Yeah, so
something like that.
So the BMW lacks this part. On the other hand, the BMW has some heated grips, but this one will come with also a cruise control, which is very helpful while riding.
And this one, it doesn't have cruise control.
Yes, it doesn't have a cruise control. So a minus for BMW, the riding modes and the cruise control. This is a winner over here.
So that's the most comfortable.
Yeah, the Triumph is the most
No.
comfortable because it features this important aspect for a bike that you can use daily for commuting or a city ride. It lacks the heated grips, but I think they're optional. You can add them.
Yeah.
This is no problem.
So you have a 21 front over there, a 19 front over here. Basically, these are the wheels from the GS.
Yep. So I think these wheels are a bit more useful while riding on muddy paths, on gravel and stuff like that, because it's a 21-inch front wheel, as we said before,
And it's also tubeless.
Tubeless with spokes,
which
so
is
this
nice.
is very helpful because if you pinch your tube, you can simply replace it or plug it with something.
And this one is tubeless too. Yeah, you know, because,
so-
but everybody knows because
so this is a very important ad that the Triumph made for this Scrambler over here. What about the brakes? Because they both have Brembo brakes, a lot of stopping power coming from both bikes, no emotions over there.
yeah, I think they're pretty much the same. Although the brakes on Triumph they look fancier
Yeah,
than
they
on
are
the BMW.
Brembo calipers, they are radial mounted, they look very good and they do a very good job.
Superbike brakes,
Yeah, exactly.
superbike style brakes.
Yeah.
Let's put all the things together. Yeah, let's do a recap, a small recap. In the city,
For the city use, the Triumph has some problems, the BMW has some problems. Here on the Triumph you can burn your legs. You will have some issues while turning between cars with the BMW.
and the suspension also.
And the suspension
Yeah.
also, because it's very bumpy in the city and you will feel it.
So which one has the biggest problems?
I think overall the BMW.
I think the Triumph.
Okay, so I was trying you. So yeah, this is a huge issue with the heating. Okay, so the BMW will be our winner for the city.
Yeah.
What about the highway use and the twisties?
About the highway, well, none of them. Actually, because yeah, you have no weather protection, the seat is not that comfortable. But if making a choice, Triumph would be my choice on the highway because
It's a bit more bearable, I think. You
Yeah,
can
it's
ride
more
some more
comfortable.
miles. So this is a
This
fair
is the mile
package,
liter.
a fair package for highway and twisties. It actually feels better on twisties than the BMW. It feels that it can be ridden faster.
But what about the off-road part? Because these are scramblers, both of them. So which one do you think is better?
If
on
you want to
off-road?
scramble around, fool around on enduro, you should pick the Triumph because it's a bit softer, longer travel suspension.
that
and
wheel,
and it feels a bit better than the BMW. The BMW is too stiff.
yeah, too stiff and too.
Yeah. You will be like on a stick, you know, like what am I doing?
Okay, so I think we should pick a winner.
Yeah, counting all the things that we said before, I think the Triumph Scrambler should be our winner because it comes with a few more features and also it's a bit more comfortable overall.
Mm-hmm.
So if you solve this problem with the exhaust, it will beat the BMW by far. By far. In my opinion, this is a huge issue that they need to solve right now. But overall, it comes with a bit more improved package and it offers a bit more than the BMW. So this should be our winner.
Well, when looking at these bikes, let me put it this way: if you want a bike, if you need a second bike, yeah, you have your bike for touring, let's say, and you need a second one just to enjoy riding, you could pick one of them. It doesn't matter. Both are the same. If you want just a city bike, maybe you should pick the BMW because you don't have that issue with the exhaust and with the heat. But if you want just a bike, if you want to buy just a bike and you need an all-rounder, well, yeah, you should go for the Triumph. I share the same opinion because I think, yeah, it has that big issue with the heating thing, but besides that, it feels better in almost every aspect than the BMW.
Yeah, exactly. But don't forget another important aspect, the price, because they are very close one to another. That one, it's around 14,000 euros
Yeah.
with all the gadgets that it has right now.
Yeah, it's because of this cylinder covers.
Cylinder covers.
But,
It also comes with hand protectors over there.
Yeah, but otherwise it would be a bit cheaper than the Triumph. It depends on the market. It depends on the options, the optional equipment. But it should be a bit cheaper than the Triumph. But when I say a bit cheaper, I mean 500 to 800 euros, something like that. So below 1,000 euros. But the Triumph comes with LED light, which is more expensive, with that dash
over
yeah,
there,
and with a lot of tech.
adjustable suspension, all-ins on the rear. So this
yeah, the value for money is better on the Triumph
better
actually.
on this one, yeah, actually.
So that being said, we have our winner for today.
Yeah. So for our scrambling test today, we've choose the Triumph Scrambler 1200 because it's the most scrambler-ish bike over here.
Okay, that's fair enough. As for you, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more.